Now finalizing the new roles of PTLs. We'll go through all the new roles. PTLs will be responsible to update or to notify task center for all these actions. So whenever there is a quotation requested and a quotation is delayed, or if there's any correction required for in the quotation, like sometimes date, name, or the jurisdiction, or the cost, or something, if there's any changes required in the bank account mentioned over there. So if there's any changes required, PTS can notify task center. And for any admin matters, it can be any admin issues, it can be related to CSE sheets, it can be related to salaries, it can be related to anything, WhatsApp groups, you can just update task center. So all these notification you can send it to task center through our task center WhatsApp group, and I will be available there in that group. So I'll be taking action, and even Wilma will be available along with us, so in the same group. So Wilma and I will be taking actions on any updates that you, or any notification that you send to us. So all these notification can be sent through WhatsApp groups, and all the forms should be filled for all the actions that can be. It can be for requesting for termination of PS, arranging a meeting or scheduling a meeting, requesting for original documents of the client, and update new script to the task center, and change to be updated in oral master list, and list of all forms, that is like filling up the forms for quotation request, or filling up the forms for payment received from client or lead. So in many of the forms even can be filled by a PS, and make sure that the forms like the termination of PA, or scheduling a meeting, and then updating the new script, change to be made, and these forms to be filled by PTL. So make sure that all these forms are filled, and some of the forms can even be filled by PS, where for example, like if they want to update the payment request, or request for quotation, or arrange a meeting, this can be filled by PS. But make sure that requesting for termination of PTL, and even requesting for original can be done by PA, but the request for termination of PA, and then a scheduling meeting is done only by PTL. And the other roles will be should be able to hire and fire PA. As I told you, the you can fill up the forms over there, and you should be able to hire and fire PA. Not only filling the form, you should be able to recognize the PAs, and make sure that you recognize the PAs in the earlier stage, so that we don't just waste our time spending behind those PAs who are not performing well. So make sure that your team performance, the credit of the team performance will go to you, and make sure that your team performs well. And you can terminate your PS whenever their performance goes low. You can give them a warning and directly terminate them, and you can even terminate them for any disciplinary actions. So your role will be to add up new PS to your group, as well as the other existing WhatsApp groups, and PTO should make sure that the forms are filled whenever the payment is received from the client or any new lead, and make sure that you get a notification or the confirmation from Varal, and with the details of commission to be paid, and the details of the PS who will be sharing the details. And if there's any correction required in that, you can just notify task center through Varal task center WhatsApp group. And PTS should be able to create new scripts, and should be able to update it to task center through form. And then PTS should be able to coordinate with the execution of job. As I told you earlier, you should be able to track the execution of the job, and you should be able to update task center. You can just update through WhatsApp group. So you can, if there is any delay in execution, you can just update and take the updates from the task center. PTL will be participating in the weekly cash flow meeting, where you will be listing out all the opportunities of new leads as well as the existing clients, and you will be discussing about the opportunities in this particular meeting. And this will be scheduled, and it will be done through Skype. So this will be one of the role of the PTL, where PTL will be participating in this cash flow meeting. PTL will also be participating in the weekly CSE meeting, where each PTL will present all the CSE sheet of that particular team. For example, team 1, Ronnie will present all 3 CSE sheets of his PTL, both for new leads as well as existing clients, and explain what exactly is happening with those leads. So I already explained you earlier about how exactly the CSC meeting will be taking place. PTL will also be assigned the role of communicating with the client through calls. So this will be one of the role of PTL, to communicate with the lead or client, whoever want to speak on call. So we will be providing all the necessary requirements like providing the phone call services. We will be providing a virtual number along with the packages, monthly packages, which you can use for these phone calls. The compensation for the new role will be USD 100, so you'll be paid USD 100 as a basic salary along with the previous basic salary. So whatever the basic salary you're getting earlier, you will get USD 100 along with that. For example, if it is 100 USD earlier, you will be getting 100 plus 100, that is 200. If it is 130, it will be 230 again, and if it is 160, it will be 260 now. And you'll also get the same 3% of overall margin for any payment received through the team. It can be either for new leads or existing client. For any payment you receive through the team, so you'll be paid, even the PTL will be paid 3% of the overall margin.